What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 58 of the walkthrough. So, picking up once again from the freezing lake. Now that we have Castle Saul and all that stuff wrapped on up, what we're going to be doing this episode is working our way through the freezing lake, getting this knocked out, then actually working our way up to the end portion, which will be right over here. With that being said, last episode I did not have my notes in front of me as far as Gold Mask and Cord's quest line. So what we're going to do is pick up from Snow Valley Ruins Overlook, and we're going to briefly cover this. And you don't even need to fast travel over here, but I want everyone to know where they are for those that are going to work on this quest. And I'm going to explain to you guys why it's just not going to work the way it should for us. So, pretty much at the beginning of the walkthrough, I told you guys you can get a platinum once you go run. However, there are going to be some quests that interact with other quests. I didn't have my notes in front of me, and I thought when we went over here we were supposed to use the Golden Order gesture on Corn and on Gold Mask. Once their dialogue was exhausted, I was wrong about this. There's actually a quest item called the Tonic of Forgetfulness. Now, the Tonic of Forgetfulness was used on Raya to do her quest line, so we do not have this in our possession to do Gold Mask and Corn's quest line the usual way. However, to my notes, this can still be done. It just works differently. Not much differently even, but works differently. Either way, we're just going to be going across to refile the Earth Tree avatars. We're looking for that other bridge. I had to fuck with him. Had to fuck with him. Yeah, he's heavy hitter. Had to fuck with him. Either way, fuck him. So going on over here, all you're really trying to do is exhaust Cordon's dialogue. Only thing that's happening here is he's going to talk about how Gold Mask quit moving, because we know he's been following Gold Mask movements, trying to interpret. So Gold Mask quit moving, and he's losing faith and kind of losing his mind, right? So with that, what you would do is you would use the Tonic of Forgetfulness, and then with that item, you would forget, go back to normal, and be happy, go lucky. Now, like I said before, we use this for Raya's questline because we're covering everything here in the Volcano Manor. So, we wanted to make sure we showed how to do all this stuff, but you only have one Tonic of Forgetfulness to play through. So as always, you need to make a choice. You can get a platinum in one run. You cannot do everything. So instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to push forward. Eventually, you are going to run over here to Kiln of the Giants right after you take out the final boss. This will teleport you to Farazula, and then we'll take out the final boss there, Malekith. Then once you get to the Ashen Capital, we're just going to find Gold Mask dead, get a Mending Rune, which you're going to need for a secret non-trophy ending. We'll be able to just kind of quit, reload, get his set, and then we'll come back, talk to Corrin, quit, reload. So all we have to do is go through the game like we usually would. Just remember to come back and talk to him. It's that simple. Obviously, you are going to have to find Gold Mask in a very obscure location of the Ashen Capital, but, I got you. You're going to get it. But like I said, usually the only other step would be the Tonic of Forgetfulness. Unfortunately, we don't have it. So, we wanted to cover Raya's quest instead. Now, I guess we'll have to go back to Round Table Hold twice. But before our next area, what we're going to do is, because I'm a really bad influence, I've told you guys to make sure you're upgrading your summons. I have not done this at all. So we're going to go ahead and make sure I start upgrading my summons being at the end of the game. You guys should have everything maxed out. Weapons, shields, seal, whatever you're casting with, or whatever your ranged option is. Like if you're doing quality, make sure your bow's at plus 10 or plus 25 basic. Using a seal or a staff, that should be maxed out. Shield should be maxed out. Main weapon should be maxed out. Your spear should, everything needs to be maxed out at this point, guys. You're getting towards the end. If you don't, you're going to be in big trouble. Now, having this maxed out, it's not like Mimic's going to sit here and beat the game for you. You can have a plus 10 Mimic, and you'll go fight Millennia, and she'll kill you both in 2 seconds flat. Seriously. But he is a solid distraction. We need to keep him alive. That's the biggest thing. If he's not going to live for more than 2 seconds, he's not going to be much of a help during a lot of these fights. I mean, if you can't get him completely maxed out, it's whatever, but try to do your best. So now that Mimic is maxed out, we'll be ready for our next fight. The next fight's nothing crazy. The guy can just one-shot you left and right. So, Freezing Lake. We've all fought the Lesser Drakes and Ancient Dragons. So this is a Lesser Drake. That's it. However, the guy does Frostbite, and he's super fucking beefy. So, there's that. So I like to make sure that, you know, we're buffed up for this. He can one-shot you with a lot of the magic, a lot of the frostbite he's doing. So, kind of a pain in the ass. Either way, when we go into the freezing lake, first thing we're going to be doing, and you don't really need a marker, because right here is like a scarab. You're going to see an island over here with an item. So if you guys really want, you could, you know, put like a 1 here, put, you know, your 2 there. Well, let's do this differently. Put a 1 here, you can put a 2 here, and then right about 3 right here, and that's where the dragon's going to come in. Then after that, we're just going to run straight for a church, which we will have to backtrack for a cave, but that way you guys will be able to pick some items up and have a, you know, a checkpoint here. But there's no real need to put markers. I mean, we've made it through the whole walk and barely using them. I said before, I'd try to use them, but usually it's like Side of Grace, a couple items around it. You know, that's how the whole series is went. So this scarab is very important for arcane dex builds. This is the best scarab, best Astral Boar in the game for these builds. So I will typically do. So I'll watch them come around there. If you can see, it's so fucking hard to see. You just start spamming my Astral Boar, and hopefully, you know, we get it. Thank you. Because he's invisible and it's very foggy. So Astral Boar Seppuku, this is going to thrust the sword into your own body and raise the amount of damage you do around blood loss, and also how much blood loss you'll put out. So very, very powerful. Using something like the Nakakiba, or, you know, a weapon like that was set to arcane scaling for blood loss, and that Astral Boar, you're going to run through anything in the world. And then you have your talismans that do the same thing, so you'll really be set up nicely. Now from here, we're just going to run into our number 2 marker straight across that little island. Which is crazy, because the real island we need to do is not even on the map. That's not even it. It's this island. But I assume that's which one was located on the map. But the big one, where you can see the big old tree behind it. We're going to hop on up. I think it's on the far end. Yeah. So right over here. Something you can't live without. I'm just kidding. Just a fucking room, guys. Now you see how foggy it got? Immediately, buff the fuck up when you see this dragon time. Mimic, Tish, whatever. Tish is just as good as Mimic. I just don't know if she can take as much damage as the thing. But she's a lot stronger. She'll make the game feel easy. She's way stronger than Mimic is. Now if you have time to buff, it's not gonna hurt, man. The dude is easy. His frostbite will one-shot you. Same dragon moveset. Instead of fire breath, he's doing fucking frostbite. That's it. It's only different. Frostbite does a shit ton of damage. Now, I'd recommend, like, if you're doing the recommended build, Flame Shrouding Cracks here just for more damage with our fire. And then Stone Bar, because we're going to be able to break his stagger a lot more. And that's what's going to make this fighter chill. If you can just break this fucking stagger. Frostbite is good. Now, if he wants to do the stomp near our head, that's the best thing that could possibly happen. Frostbite breath, hard. I think the left is better, but I'm sure you can get to the right too. He's spamming breath. Now, if you're trying to break his stance, the problem is you can't have a huge gap in between those big hits. So if he's doing all this bullshit, you can't get a few charge heavies off back to back. You know, you're kind of fucking, right? God, it's such a dick to get to, bro. What? How the fuck would we get through his head there? Like, just going right through his fucking head. Come on. Okay, one of those rage-worthy fights in the game. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It'll make you fucking rage for sure. But then you'll come back in and you'll kill him in a second flat or a few seconds and it'll seem like nothing. I think that's what really pisses me off. Like, if you're going to be a hard fight, I don't want to come back and spank you down really easily. It just means it's very inconsistent. It's either too hard or too easy. I don't like that. But that's probably how it's going to go. So, if you are struggling, I'm telling you guys, Stone Barbed. You know, even though we're doing fire and we want that boosted, I'd recommend Stone Barbed way before I'd recommend Flame Shrouding or Magic Shrouding or whatever you're doing, because it's going to break his stance and critical hits are going to do the most damage. I wish I could put on 2 Stone Barbs, but I can't. So much I I'm not really worried about my other damage being buffed. As long as we have our class of wonders physics, let's do the stop. Nope. Yep. Pretty much you get hit twice, you're dead. Charge at us. Give her shield. Need that head. Oh, you're pissed. You see what I'm saying? So, one time you're gonna come, it's gonna feel really fucking hard, really impossible, and the next time it's gonna come fucking up. Go ahead. This goes just like a truck now. Oh, is that the stop? Is that the stop? Yeah, I love the stop. I used to be so intimidated by that, but now I'm like, oh, cool, your head's right here. Dodge. Jump heavy. Stagger. Die. Yeah. If you don't want to be staggered, you can be dead. And this is what I'm talking about. Very inconsistent. First time feels impossible. Second time it's a literal joke. It's just, inconsistent fight. But, once you got them down, you'll get your Dragon Heart and 120,000 souls is typical. From here, there's nothing really in the lake besides our souls from getting spanked around by a little pushover. Lesser Drake, as they're known lore-wise. I don't like being killed by anyone that is known as a lesser anything. But, either way, going up the lake, right, not the big nook, like right here, there's like a little up portion, top portion kind of, go up a little slope. There's a cave there, you're going to need a stone sword key. Very rewarding. While we do want to knock that out, we're going to be going for a church at the very bottom first, but just so you guys know, just so you know it's there. And there's also a somber 8 along the path. Actually, somber 8's like right here. You guys want to put a marker in that first little nook, but we'll get it once we get to the church. So for the time being, all we want to do is just go straight across. Now, right in front of the church, and make sure you use the front entrance, not the side entrance. The reason being is your somber bell bearing that you need for your infinite 5s and 6s is going to be right here on the ground on a body. Like the only time you see them, that manner, usually they're hidden in a catacomb or behind a boss fight. This one's just chilling, like it's not a super important item. And then right here will be your second to last tier to have your class fully upgraded. Your golden seeds are maxed out. You're going to have 14 flasks at the end of the day. That's what you get. I thought it was 15. I had to check my notes. Now you go here, you're going to notice that there's still one more. So we're going to get that at the end of this episode or beginning of next. And this flask charge is already at max. So you don't get trophies for maxing them out in this game like you typically would. So before we go into the lake and backtrack, I would like to go ahead and clear this area as there's just not much here. But what you're going to do is go behind the church. There's going to be a cliff up top of the chair. Go rob the dead guy. These 3 smithing 7s. And we'll drop on down. Now what we're going to be doing is going for those markers. So like I said, if you just follow around to the left, you see this big little nook. You can put number 1 marker like right there. There's going to be a somber 8 we're going to pick up. And we're going to keep riding this around. Eventually you're going to see jellyfish. The spot might not be exact. It could be here, it could be here. But right around this area is a cave. Caves are not marked on the map. You got to find them. So anyways, you're going to see jellyfish. And once you see them, just follow them up through the cave. You are going to need a stone sword key. Make sure you have this. Also, if you guys are wanting to bring up weapons and you need some 5s or 6s, somber-wise, go turn on your bell bearing and bring up some more weapons for yourself. I'm going to put this off a bit because I want to go ahead and cover the the full freezing lake before we move on. But the option is there for you guys. You guys are you're not on a time limit to make a video. You guys have all the time in the world. Where are you, fucker? Somber 8's right here. Maybe it is further up. I know it's right past the lobster, though. Might be around the next nook. Like I said, these spots aren't exact. I have them in my notes, but as far as exactly where they are, it could be a bit off. We could have missed them. We definitely missed them. Alright. The damn snow makes everything so fucking hard to see. Where are you? Because I don't want anyone to miss this. I thought it was in this back corner. Oh, you know what? He might be tucked over here. There he is, right by the first one. So we literally ran right past him. So I was right. Okay. Well, either way. You guys have fought the lobster slash crawfish, what the fuck you want to call them. They're deadly, dude. And these ones are frostbite versions, so they're much more deadly. So have fun if you want to fight them. Not going to do it. Not with 130,000 souls. And not when there's more than one. No way. Now, if you, like I said, if you just follow it around, follow the jellyfish, that takes you to the cave. I will admit, I forgot to check this when I was taking notes. Just make sure I don't miss anything. Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Alright. I'll do that a couple times. It's an open world game. There's a lot of cliffs, you know, a lot of little areas tucked in, so it only takes us a second to check it out, be thorough. So as most caves, this one's pretty short. I mean, it's roomy, right? Like, there's a lot of space, but it doesn't take long to get through here. There's going to be a gimmick to this cave. It's going to be very, very challenging. You guys remember the spirit callers. Spirit callers summon up help, and until you find the actual snail, these guys cannot be put down. And these are all samurai, blood boss. So, you know. Now, when you walk straight in and that breaks, don't worry about it. I did it on purpose. So, as soon as you take that drop, it's actually going to put you right where you want to be as far as the first snail. So, it's not quick enough. I just need to, yeah. I just need to land a hit, dude. Just need to land a hit on him. Yeah, it should have been quicker. Usually it takes them like a second to spawn in, though, so. But yeah, I like that drop because you can actually work from behind and work your way back up. It's just easier to get to that snail. It's faster. So same thing. You could avoid it, but I would have you guys, you know, just do it this way. Bye. That's what I should have done. Should be dead. Alrighty. So now we got that. We're just gonna head straight on down. There's a few instances of this happening. So if you were to move straight, you could drop down and keep progressing. We're not gonna do that. What we're gonna do instead is just kind of stay up top, turn around to your right hand side. And this will take our way back to the top. However, first we're gonna get some items. Some good ones. Really easy to miss these. So, like I said, it's just better to go that way. Really, it's just runes, good runes. But you also get a rune arc as well. Then from there, if you were to just keep going here, just navigation-wise, so everyone knows, this is going to be your second. It's going to be like 3 instances when this happens. Grab your H relief. Now, believe it or not, this is all behind you, right? So if you wouldn't have fell down the hole, what I'm doing is actually bringing you back to the top. It just looks crazy. So be careful not to fall it again. But you could have went and avoided the hole, then went down this way. But that would have put a snail behind you guys. So keep that in mind. Just like the one time where the trap of the floor is a good thing. You know what I mean? So it just takes time with the game to figure this out. Now, the next one sucks because there's 2 snails they try to throw you off, and this is where the samurai are. So what you're going to do is rush through this motherfucker, guys. You're like going to rush to the far left. Yep, we did get that. That's the same one. No, you'll rush to the far right first, go for a snail in a bush, and then you're going to rush to the far left for another snail in a bush. So they're small. They're kind of hidden behind these trees. There's going to be samurai and wolves, and killing one snail only gets rid of half of everyone, right? Now, once you get to this room, look to the very far left-hand side. Drop, take him out. So, Mr. Samurai is dead. Now this is the big room. There's going to be 2 in this one. Like I said, just run straight back, all the way back to the right. So behind this wolf, there's like land where you see that item. There's your first. Be quick as you can. I always seem to miss the first time. That's going to get rid of half the enemies. And then just kind of run straight across to the other side. Back the fuck up. And get the other one. So it's really just a race of can you find and kill both snails before these dudes bleed you the fuck out. So Dex builds, they're doing samurai build, Reed armor set, really cool. Samurai builds, really cool. It sucks there's only, you know, the starting set for samurai and then the one you get here. So I mean there's all types of Dex builds, but as far as like putting together a dope ass samurai, at the end of the game you get one armor set. There you go, have fun with it. So not, you know, not too cool of a choice. But either way, with that guys, we are at the end of the cave. Now for this one, what I will be doing is switching up to a parry shield. Remember, if you're having trouble with parries, buckler with the golden parry will help you out. So this is a double Godskin fight. It's actually kind of like a heads up of what you're going to face in Missoula, but this is back to back instead of at the same time. In Missoula, you have to fight 2 Godskins at the same time, but here it's back to back. Now they're only spirit versions of each other, so they're not even like the real thing. And with mentioning that, after this, you're also going to have to make sure you get rid of the snail or you're going to be in for a bad time. Because they will come back. Get back, get back, get back. Yeah, he can kill you quick. Good day. Oh! Fucking bitch. You're fucking killer. Should be a Stake America. Yeah, we're escaping that one. He's having trouble, wouldn't he? Back up, back up, back up. Thank you. We are not out of the woods yet, guys. We are not out of the woods yet. So wait for it. Be patient. Be patient. There you go. So this is why I put on my parry shield. Even though you fight the other one first, you can parry him too. It's just much more difficult. I think this is like the easy way to do it. And then the 3-set shield is really good for shooting the fireball back at him, but you don't have to parry even. I think the parry just makes life a lot easier. So we tried to know this before, but if you miss the first dodge, you're fucked. But if you could land it, no. If you land the first dodge, you're simply just running around in a circle. You can't touch it. I dodged way too early. It's a small area. So give me a break. Too soon. Yeah. I figured. We'll get it. It can be very difficult. That one move he does is usually fucking unfair because it's like 19,000 thrust. As I said, we'll get it. Oh yeah, there is no Stake America in that one. I had it wrong. What are you doing? Dumbass. It's not a lantern. So I'm just going to be running straight through. Just in case, though. We are talking about, 130,000 souls. Usually when you try to run through and ignore everything, that's when you get killed. But we're not doing this, 1,000 times. Ain't no fucking way. And we could have just summoned Mimic too. It would have made life a lot fucking easier. Yeah, he's using some poo-poo back there. He's trying to puff up and fuck you up. That's what I'm talking about. Heal. Buff. Get done? Shit. Mimic's such a fucking retard. Stagger? No. We're close. These guys also have a shit ton of fucking health too, even with our damage. They have a lot. Alright. Hit you the first shot, now the second. Should we just do that just fine. He blew us back. Alright, who are you going after here? Right into it. Dagger? No. Now typically when he opens up the air, so but when he opens up, that's when you're trying to dodge. So he'll go up, his little skirt blows out, that's your dodge window. Once again, I was a bit early. Sometimes Mimic or summons of any sort really fuck me up. Mimic can handle him by itself. But they really fuck me up because they just kind of get in my way. Or I'm not reading attacks right. You know, they're kind of distracting, but still. So as you see, when you take them out, guys, what's going to happen is the snail will show up. But I already told you that before. So if you didn't kill him and come back, Mimic can handle him. Your summon, maxed out, can handle him. So as long as you get through the god skin, you should be more than good to go. Now that we have that, we're going to jump back to the first church. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go and turn this bellberry for people that want to have it, want to use it. Even though I said it, I feel like if I don't do it, people are going to forget and say, hey, why didn't you fucking bring this up, Brendan? Why didn't you tell us about this? Like I did. We just didn't do it. Nope. Alright, so now you have infinite Sombers 1 through 6, infinite regulars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7, 8, 9 Somber and then 7, 8 regular are going to be barrel bearings in Fair Missoula. So they're coming. And that's why, the other reason, we're going to do Fair Missoula before Consecrated and then the Helix Tree. So that way you guys can max out all your weapons as much as you want. You max out every fucking weapon you want to. I mean, granted you have the 10s, plus 9's pretty much maxed out. Pretty close, pretty close. Here's a quick ass 30 minutes, guys. Yeah, as I said, we'll at least have one more episode here. Alright, before I do something completely stupid. I wonder if I could just pop all my shit and get that 40 marker. It's not going to take all of them, but it's going to take a lot of them. Well, no, it might take all of them. We have a long way to go. I don't even know if we are going to have enough. I'm just hoping. No, we might. I don't even know if we're going to have enough here, guys. It's really up at 137. Yeah, I might be fucking myself here and put myself at risk. Oh no, it's another 75. That's like 32. I think 5,000. There's 2,000. Oh, it's gonna be so close. It's so close. It's like 4,000. That should be it. Yep, that's it. So now we're at 50 and 40, looking absolutely beautiful. So leaving the church, our next stop is gonna be right. Yeah, so there's an Everjail, which I don't know why the fuck this one is not in the map. It's like the only one that's not in the map. It's like right here, though. But either way, you're just going to start going over to the far left of the cliffside, working your way to that camp we saw before. Um, but with that, there's a spirit spring that's going to throw you out up top. You're going to see the chain, just keep that in your far left side. Now, on the way up, there will be one of those graveyards where you can pick up more runes. A couple dogs. Not just small ones. You got, like, the Caitlin dogs. Yeah, they're here. You guys probably saw when we went for that map fragment. There's not many. There's like one or two. They can make their presence known. For sure. To say the least, they can make their fucking presence known quite well. Now this Everjail can be pretty horrible. This is Vike again. So the lore with Vike is he was like us. He was the closest Tarnished to ever become Elden Lord. However, when he got to the capital, he discovered the underground and did the same thing we did. He took on the flame of frenzy, got corrupted, and never completed his goal. So, the version you fought was the corrupted version. Up here is the version of Vike at true strength, as he was that very strong Tarnished before he got corrupted. So for this fight, to make this easier, because it's difficult, y'all. It's difficult. One of the hardest ever jails. I'd tie him with Tish. I don't know. A lot of people said Tish is so hard, we kind of ran through her. I think he's harder, in my opinion. A lot of people are not going to feel this way. So he can buff up his weapon, like Dragon Lightning. He's going to be very consistent. He still has a spear, but this time it's more lightning and less madness. But with this straight shield, it makes life so much easier. He's kind of bouncing off. Now, if you're low in stamina, it is going to fuck you. So you got to try to remember that. It's going to fuck you if you're low in stamina. You just got to break your stagger, and then you're, look at that. That's fucking one hit, dude. He's got one heal. So with the shield, as long as we maintain our stamina, we can actually get some punishment off. It's almost impossible to break NPC's attacks. Thank you. Big beefy damage. Yeah, one shot. So, like I said, it's really difficult. We about had him dead too. It's really difficult. Really difficult. And it's just because of his damage output more than anything else. I mean, I didn't even buff up. Obviously, we used the Flask of Wonders Physic. So we could use that again and our spells to really boost our damage. But our damage is pretty good just with that alone. It's just he has one-shots, right? And you can play it perfect. You get hit once, you're dead. All it fucking takes. One hit. That's why some people say the game is unfair. It's not unfair. It fucking feels unfair. So much of the fucking time. So much of the time it's just FromSoft doing entirely too fucking much. You know what I mean? But then you get past it, you're like, oh, that was more than fair. But while you're learning it, you're not going to feel that way. So stamina. Stamina. There's his heal. It's taken back from him. Don't shot. I'm getting one of these off. I'm taking that health back. There we go. It's about where he was. Oh, you're a bitch, dude. God, you're such a bitch. Hey, like them apples. So if you could just get around them like that, that's the ticket, guys. Difficult, it's quick. Yeah, it's got spear. Anyone with a spear build, it's gonna be quick. Taking him out, by Dragon Bolt, the spell he was using. I wish we got the regular version of that spear too, but we didn't. Then you got the fingerprint armor. So it ties into Sabriri and Madness before you turn to Madness. That's why it's called the Sabriri Grape. But yeah, so now we got that done. We do have our Everjail. So leaving the Everjail, just go to the southeast. That's the graveyard. I guess we could make sure we don't get killed by using the Spirit Spring. I was going to drop us further down to the right, though. Now, going around this corner, if you want to get on foot, go for it, because you got your dogs. So, like I said, there's going to be 2. These guys are fucking easy, though, man, because they have no fucking poise whatsoever. And they really don't have that much help. They're just really intimidating to people. I mean, their moveset, while you're learning it, their hits come out fast. Oh, there's actually like fucking 4. The one separated. Boom, staggered. You get 1 guard counter. So, as I said, they don't have to be hard. But yeah, they're faster than what you think. They're fucking very vicious, very deadly. Their damage output's absolutely absurd at times. But if you know how to play, it's pretty bye. You know what I'm saying? So if you were to follow this straight, that is going to lead you over to the puzzle tower. Remember, we talked about that before. You could have, crossed the invisible bridge, went this way, and went on out. That's why we ignored it. We got the loose items here, about up to this line. We didn't go past. However, there's nothing else going on there. So we're no longer, concerned with that area. Instead, what we're going to be doing is going on over to this camp and completing our pyromancy build. If you want to stick with it after this point, it's up to you guys. But at least to this point, I want to make sure we're going to see this through and get this build put together. After this point, though, we got you the main weapon for the recommended build, the main shield, a nice armor set that's light and weight, the best talismans for your build, and a lot of great spells. But the spells we're about to get here from the main boss complete that build. So if you made it to this point, I think we're all good to do what we want after this. But I do want to make sure that we finish putting this build together. And I don't like to switch last minute, so I probably won't. I'm just saying, this does complete the build, so if you guys want to switch it up after that, feel free to do so. Not that you had to go with the build anyways. So, first playthrough was a very fun build. Very viable. And one of the strongest builds in the game. Don't get all stretchy on me, baby. So once you go into this camp and you clear out the first few enemies, you should be able to summon. Your summon will not really take until about this point when you get past the barricades. What are you doing, dumbass? What are you doing? Oh, yeah. Summon's on top. Horse at the bottom. I'm like, what are you doing, you fucking idiot? Alright, so this is like a fire monk camp. But everybody here, they're going to give you a lot of shit. So we're going to go through and completely clear out the courtyard. Especially when it comes to your free things. Do that shit again. I bet you won't. Oh, I went fast enough. I bet you won't. Do it. Too early, too late. There we are. God, he's so dangerous, dude. Oh, we're dead. We're dead. Yeah, you're going through a lot of resources with that fucking guy. It's a hell of a fight for just a basic fucking enemy. Super elite. Super elite, but he's not a boss. He's not a fucking mini-boss. Just an elite enemy. Alright, so we got the lower portion cleared. Mimic is gone. He probably got himself killed plus 10 Mimic. That's what I'm saying. It's not some guaranteed cheat code to get through the game, fully upgrade your summon. It helps. You're still going to get your ass whipped if you're going to get your ass whipped. But it's nice. Alright, so really just stick it to the left-hand side at this point, y'all. There's going to be a lot of enemies right here on this cliff. And there's a scarab we need to get. He's up in the tree. And we will be going out there once we have all of this done. Get both. Thank you. That was rough. Just be aggressive. Just be aggressive. Where you at, you stinking bitch? Don't dare spaz out on me. Somehow, we still have 11 heals. Absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how it's even possible. You like fire? Do it. Alright, and where are you, scared piece of shit? Okay, it's further down. I forgot which tree it was, I just knew it was in a tree. So, Ash of War prelates charged. So now you can put that on other weapons. That is the same one that came with the prelate's hammer when you guys picked that up. It's Mount Gelmir, right, on the way to Volcano Manor. And we'll just go around the outside and loop back in. You pretty much have everything at this point. So, from the chain on, that's the end. Like I said, as soon as we go over here, all you have is, there is a hero's grave over here on this cliff, or it's like right over here, I forget. But there's a hero's grave, I'm quite certain that's it. It's kind of right, it ends pretty much where it starts. So you got a hero's grave, you have loose items, you have like an invasion in a church, loose items, boss, right here, done. So, pretty much, that's the end of it. There's not much after that point. Now, before we get over there, we do want to make sure all this is clear, obviously. But like I said, doing the courtyard first is best. You've missed out on really good Ash of War, feeling like you don't want to deal with these guys. You'd miss out on, stone sword keys and a lot of helpful things. So from this point, what we're going to do is just run straight on out that back door. Look to your right. Get your dog. You don't want the extra come. There's going to be these enemies in here that look like NPC invaders. They're not. They're like these fire guardians, but they'll look like an invader would look. You'll see. They have like these different health bars and names and shit. Flame Guardian. Usually they don't have names. They're just guys like that. God, you fucking miss, son. The only guy that doesn't bounce off the great shit. Super high level enemies. Super fucking high level enemies. These butterflies. As far as progression, that's actually done right here. However, you'd end up missing this level, so we're in good snacks. This where are you, little bitch? Where are you? There he is. My boy. Okay. No one likes an asshole. Alright. Once you got that clear, you could actually just go to this far ledge and just roll on off. Drop, doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. I was like, why does he seem dead? If he ain't gonna fuck with us, we ain't gonna fuck with him. So going this way, you're gonna have one more Flame Guardian. You guys just saw what he was like. So get ready for a fight. Or get ready for a fucking backpack. Got one there. Just like your last guy. Don't you dare do anything stupid. Or do everything stupid. Alrighty. Smithing 7. Now we can go up for the actual hard fight, because this wasn't it, man. These are irritating fights, now we're going to do the hard one. So we're going to run and jump on out. Going down this way, it's like a dead body, but there's no actual item to get. Now up here is Well, I haven't heard many people talk about the shield, which is crazy. There is a fucking shield up here I consider to be one of the best shields in the game. I'd probably put it top 3, top 4. But as soon as you go up, most people would probably overlook this. Make sure you take these dogs out. We don't need the added help. So this bitch has a shield that is so sick. It's what's called the shotgun shield. And that's what it does. It's going to literally shoot like a fucking cannonball at you, dude. He's also gonna absolutely fucking spam pyromancies. Land it! Run away. Yeah, I just use your support whatever you got on the fish, dude. Because getting up close to her, even staying from range is not good. Her shield's gonna protect most of the damage, but if you can do that, look at her damage. It's fucking absurd, I'm telling you, bro. Oh, he's taking damage. You see that God tier spell he has? We'll be getting that very shortly. There we go. Yeah, we'll be getting that very shortly. That's your one-eye shield. Absolutely fucking absurd. So it's super heavy, one of the heaviest. So 36 strength requirement. You're looking at 20.5 pounds pure physical damage and for strength builds. However, that thing is fucking dope, dude. I'm telling you right now, that thing is fucking outrageous. So we'll get that item on the ledge. Let's grab our book first. This is your Pyromancy Prayer Book. They're really dial in our build. And then after you take out the main boss, that's where, you know, you're going to get the best of the best stuff. But yeah, this pretty much wraps up Pyromancy build right here. That's why we went with it. It's just simple enough to understand. Gives you a lot of options. Very viable. You got range, you got up close, you got AoE, you got fire, you got physical. Like, there's a lot of cool shit going on with it. But the reason I chose this is because we're doing a 100-hour walkthrough. I was trying to think of something that was viable, which quality build would have done it. But there's also a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Because quality builds, you're not going to really have spells and, you know, really many range options besides like a bow. So it just seemed incredibly boring for a very, very long game. But I hope you guys are enjoying the build. Sorry it took so long to get the best spells, but at least we're able to get, you know, solid-ass weapon and shield and armor and a few pyromancies to hold us over. Either way, if you have not followed along and you did not get a giant scrape post yet, go ahead and grab that. Now, before we wrap up, I was going to try to fit in the rest of the area of this episode, but it's not going to happen. In fact, even next episode, we'll probably do the whole area with everything but the boss. I'll try to fit it in. May not happen. Very, very detailed boss fight, very long boss fight. But it just takes time to go through. I was like, it might take, you know, 2.5 episodes. Big area. Alright, so get prayer book.
Very well, let us heresy all things.
And there you go. So now it's time, y'all. It is fucking time. So you only got 2 things here. Both are very much worth your time. So that is Giant's Flame Take Thee. And then you also have Flame Fall Upon Them. One is a fireball. And I like the Black Flame. It's not going to go with the build we're using, though. So what we're going to do is reset all of our spells. And at this point, besides, like, what is it, Golden Vow, we could almost go pure Pyromancies. Well, no, we'll still keep that on, though. That way we have 2 buffs in case someone's really pissing us off. We want to, you know, put off a lot of fucking damage. So, Flame Grant Me Strength. This is how the build would go. Flame Grant Me Strength. Flame Sling. Nope. We're going to go Giant's Flame Take Thee. So, it's a fireball's really big, and you can charge up to make it even really big. You know, like much bigger. So, we'll do that. Then we're going to do Flame Fall Upon Them. So, you have a nice AoE spread shot. And then Flame of the Fellow God, which is just going to be a huge hitter. And then with that, after the boss, you're going to get that AoE wall. There's fire spouts, like fire geysers come on up. So you'll be set up quite nicely. Either way, guys, from there, what we'll do is jump on over to Giant's Great Post and show you guys this stuff before we close out. Now, when we go up here, we'll show this off. Did we get that at +9? Or +8. So we're going to get this at +9 very shortly. That way it's almost maxed out. This right here is going to be boosting the damage of what we're doing. So that's going to be nice to have. boosting the damage of your spells. Aside from that, doesn't really matter. We picked up this from the cave. Successive attacks restore HP. This is obviously going to be for your dex builds. Now, like I said, this is just like a regular fireball. It's going to replace the other ones you've had. They've lasted us a good long time, but they're not like this. This is like a permanent projectile. So really quickly, look how big that fucker is. Oh, 1100. Charged up, even bigger. And then we got Flame Fall upon them, really quick, spread shot. Also does quite a bit of stagger. Charge it up. Boom. So you're getting multiple off. So it's not that one does more damage than the other, they just have different applications. Like if you're surrounded by enemies and they're a little bit far away, you're trying to take some range, they'll spread out. That's your utility. So that's what that application is for. And the other one is just big damage, one big target. Or one small single target. Throw the fucking sun at him. And then just pop with a fire sword. So really cool. And then you start the AoE too. Now that'll kind of complete it. So you got your quick projectile, which is huge, and you can charge for one single target. That's your spread shot in case multiple enemies are in front of you. That's your big hitter. That's your boss nuke essentially. And of course you got your buffs, and then we'll have the AoE we'll be able to mix in there too. And at that point, you're looking BEA beautiful. Speaking of getting things late for builds, what we're gonna do very, very quickly. It'll be one less thing we do the next episode, but the bigger thing here is the fact that we're actually going to be able to get a weapon for Dex Arcane. You guys haven't had much. I think Morgoth's Curse Sword's like the best, but if you're doing like more Dex, that you prefer katanas, this thing's fucking cool, man. It is a fire blood loss katana. The most devastating weapons in the game. Probably top 3 best weapons for any build. Actually, your hero's grave is actually right here. So I got it mixed up in structure. That's the church. But if you guys want, just put that on. We're gonna go do an invasion really quick. Get your very powerful weapon. Is Dex Arcane. You had the Reduvia, you had Morgoth's Curse Sword, you had Eleanor's Pole Blade, and then you have the weapon we're getting out. That's it. I mean, think of how many faith weapons we had, how many ant weapons we had, how many quality strength Dex weapons we had. I mean, you guys got the short end of the stick, unfortunately. And it's probably because it's such a fucking powerful build. Blood loss in general, but Dex blood loss with fire and blood. I mean, give me a fucking break, dude. Like, it's just crazy strong. Now, you're going to be invaded over here. If you still have on, your big boy shield, it'll make life much easier. So, as always, anytime you're about to be invaded, you're going to get kicked off torrents. So, say fuck the invader. Don't even worry about fighting him just yet. That way you can grab your side of grace. If he kills you, you don't have to run back. That's your action board. See how you just fucking annihilated us? Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Fucking spammer piece of shit. I hate this fucking action board. It's the most pussy thing I can think of. Sorry guys, you gotta forgive me, but I truly feel like that. If you gotta go through, especially if you're doing like PvP, and if you're following along and this is you, get offended. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. If you're just going through the game, fucking spamming action support, you're trash, dude. You gotta learn how to play the game. People are gonna have to want to play with you. You know what I'm saying? You do that, that's just, for one, it's not the right way to play, because what are you gonna do when you run out of mana? What are you gonna do? Just get killed by everything? Better learn to play. But, then again, From Software creates characters to do it, so, I mean, we But yeah, I just think it's so pathetic. I always have. I'm not telling anyone how to play the game, but don't play it like that with me. Shit. Come on, you little bastard. Alright, let's give him a taste of some of this. I think that's the whole fucking thing. Follow up. Okay, you can do blood loss. We get it. You see what I'm saying? Annoying, right? He's got blood loss. We have buffs. Let's play his way. Just remember, he was one spamming shit first. I'm gonna show you why I don't recommend doing this. It fucking takes all the fun out of the game. Just makes the game fucking easy. We buffed up every which way we could. I just sit here and spam our ass support. Spam our ass support. We can't do nothing fucking else. Now, hold on. I gotta kill you with my Master War. Because that's what gamers play now. Bye. You see what I'm saying? It takes all the fun out of it. But I don't have time. Yeah, it's really irritating me. I think you guys have the freedom to play however the fuck you want. Don't listen to anybody. That's not what I was saying. But I would recommend that people don't play like that if you were to ask my opinion, because you're never going to get better. You're never going to get better. The point in following walkthroughs and guides is to learn a new way to look at the game. To eventually, you don't need them anymore. You know, you're supposed to be getting better. I do think it'll take all the fun out of it. And then, like I said, you're eventually going to get to a point where you run out of mana. So if you run out of mana, you can't do your Rush of War anymore, and you didn't get good, you're going to have some fucking trouble. But please enjoy the game however the hell you want. Don't let me or anyone else fucking tell you different. I will say, if you're doing duels with people, the invasions do the fuck you want, they're invasions. But yeah, if you're doing duels and shit, people are going to be pretty irritated by that and probably not want to play with you. And they can spank your ass too. Don't think that it's because they're losing. No, they like creative, challenging matches. Trust me. You can go into PvP and spam Master War. They're gonna make you look stupid. Some of these guys, they really will. But you just want to get better, guys, because you run out of mana. You're like, oh yeah, this big guy. Oh shit, my special attack's out of juice. And I'm not comfortable with dodge rolling, dodge catching, and you're just gonna get obliterated. And you're gonna have a hard time, probably not enjoy the game when you get killed 1,000 times in a row. But yeah, this is my opinion, and at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's an opinion. It's not right. It's not wrong. But ramble over, y'all. That guy pissed me off if you couldn't tell. But with that, we are gonna go ahead and wrap on up. So we did pick you guys up River of Blood, which is, like I said, one of the most ridiculous weapons of the game. 20 arcane, 18 dex, 12 strength. Very much a dex arcane weapon. The higher dex, the higher physical, higher arcane, higher the blood loss. With that, you're also getting fire on every single hit. Now, the arcane weapons that do fire throw me off. I don't know if leveling arcane gives you more fire damage or just more blood loss. The fire could be at base. I want to say that arcane scales the fire too, because you see that negative 30 because we don't reach the stats. But don't hold me to it. Regardless, it's just super good. And we'll be putting together an arcane build for like one episode to show you guys, all the benefits of it and how to properly put it together with the right spells, the right weapons, and how to really get the most out of it. And I'll make sure we cover that weapon thing. But before we wrap up, as far as what's next, like I said, all we have is a few loose items, mainly somber stones. We'll have a hero's grave about right here, and then your final boss. So we should be able to fit that all next episode. If not, we'll fit everything besides the boss. Then we'll take out, the giant before we head on over to Fair Missoula. Then as far as what's left, it's just, one episode here. Probably got maybe 2.5 here. Then we'll have Consecrated, Halleck Tree, and Boss Rush. And that's it. We're definitely getting up there. But with that, we are going to wrap on up. So as always, please stay tuned, and we will catch y'all back here shortly.